We had seen the dead bodies in the camp.
Joanna was 3 years old when she was rescued from a Nazi concentration camp.
We sometimes had nightmares.
She has been telling her family's story for decades.
I need to be heard.
After attacks on Jewish communities in the last 12 months, her son and grandson are pleading for people to listen.
The streets are quiet, people would normally stop and talk, people are scared.
And it just feels like it's hard to find a place that feels safe.
At the end of the war in Europe, this concentration camp was home to hundreds of children, some of them very young. It was her departure from Theresienstadt on an RAF bomber which formed Joanna Millan's earliest memory.
The scary bit was that, there were soldiers coming to put us on planes. The planes were very, very noisy. Nobody had bothered to tell us we'd been liberated. So, maybe the older children probably realised, but we didn't. So you can imagine that was really frightening.
Joanna's mother died at Theresienstadt. Her father was murdered at Auschwitz earlier in the war. She arrived in the UK with 5 other orphans, an inseparable little band of traumatised toddlers.
We just looked after each other. It was just normal. We sometimes had nightmares, but we always got up and soothed them and got them back to sleep again, whoever it was that had these nightmares. But also, we had seen the dead bodies in the camp, and we knew the difference between someone asleep and someone who was dead. And we used to check each other out at night to make sure that we were all right, that we hadn't died unexpectedly.
Joanna spent 2 years in an orphanage for survivors of the camps. She was then adopted, did well at school, and got a job as a secretary before going on to run her own business. But the Holocaust was something she was brought up never to discuss, and it was only with her husband's encouragement that she began to investigate her family's history.
I was desperate to talk about it because nobody else would listen to me. My adoptive family wouldn't listen, my husband's family wouldn't listen, and I thought, I need to be heard.
Joanna started to speak in schools about what had happened to her family, and she was honoured for her work in Holocaust education. Her medal hangs on the wall at home, where her son Daniel and grandson David have come to visit. Daniel lives in Manchester, and he describes a change in the atmosphere in the Jewish community since the attack on a synagogue in the city last October.
The streets are quiet, people would normally stop and talk, people having conversations. Now people just drive there, get what they need and go. No one's hanging around. There's increased community security in front of all the synagogues, there's all these protocols put in now. And people are scared because this creates fear, because they see all this protection that the community needs just in case. And we've kind of been preparing for this, and it's happening now.
David grew up in Australia. He's still shaken by the shock of the attack on a Hanukkah celebration in Sydney last month.
There was the incident in Bondi. One of the victims, unfortunately, was a Holocaust survivor. And it just feels like it's hard to find a place that feels safe.
Alex and Cicely.
Joanna's research has found branches of the family across the world. She has 3 children and 8 grandchildren, and her roots in Germany mean that they are entitled to German citizenship. That's a passport they intend to claim.
We remember stories from the Holocaust of people trying to get out of Germany, knocking on doors at embassies saying, can we come in? And they were being refused. We don't want to have to be knocking on doors for a passport or citizenship. We want to have it in our hands that we say, right, we're going.
Just in case?
Just in case.
I carry my passport on me all the time. All these years that I've been trying to tell people, that we've got to be more tolerant and understanding. I'm so upset because I feel that it's worse, not better. And I did try so hard, and I must have done over 100 talks a year to schools and to older adult groups. And it's all for nothing.